Philippine criminal justice system, the machinery of the state or government which enforces the rules of conduct necessary to protect life and property and maintain peace and order. So, machinery. When we say machinery, or an instrument, a tool, or a system na nai-utilize ng ating government. Para saan? So, sinabi dito to enforce the rules of conduct. So, ano nga ba yung mga rules of conduct? Rules of conduct, these are written laws formulated and implemented by the government. So, bakit ginagawa ng government ang rules of conduct? Sinabi dito is to protect life and property of the citizenry and of course to maintain peace and order in the community. So, ini-implement at ini-enforce ang batas para maprotektahan ang buhay at ari-arian ng mga tao at para mapanatili ang kaayusan at kapayapaan sa ating community. So, the other definition of Philippine criminal justice system, it is a social institution and a system. So, paano siya naging social institution at system? Naging social institution siya because the system attempts to meet society's needs for laws and order. So, ginagamit si PCJS para ma-meet yung standard ng society which is to provide protection to life and property and to maintain peace and order. So, paano naman siya naging system? As a system, criminal justice system depends on due process involving the 5 pillars. So, from the word itself na PCJS, ito ay isang sistema which is composed of process or mga procedures or steps as a process pertains to the 5 pillars of CJS. Dahil nga ito ay sistema, dumadaan ito sa iba't ibang sangay ng gobyerno upang maiwasan ang pang-aabuso sa karapatan at upang mabigyang hustisya ang bawat biktima ng krimen. So, we have the 5 pillars, namely, law enforcement, prosecution, court, correction, and community. The first is the law enforcement. For your information, hindi lang natatali sa PNP ang law enforcement pillar, kundi nandyan din ang PIDEA, NBI at iba pang ahensya ng gobyerno. So, bakit nga ba mahalaga ang law enforcement sa CJS? Because it is the most visible symbol of authority. They're called upon to assist in situations. So, situations such as emergency situations, may kaguluhan sa lugar, funeral, nandito yung mga provide VIP security, location of missing person or property, and etc. Law enforcement referred as the initiator of action or the prime mover. So, bakit nga ba tinatawag na initiator of action or prime mover? So, na-discuss natin kanina na ang CJS ay may process na sinusunod. So, law enforcement is the first process or step in the administration of PCJS, kaya siya tinatawag na prime mover. So, ang ibig sabihin, kung ano ang gagawin ni law enforcement, siguradong makakaapekto ito sa iba pang pillar. For example, is the legality of arrest. So, basically, in the legality of arrest, kailangan maging within the Constitution, may of arresting of a police officer, and basically, siya ay i-validate ng susunod na pillar which is the prosecution. Magkakandak ng criminal investigation, one of the most vital participation of the police in the criminal justice system. Bakit? Dahil ito ay pinaka-main task or ambag ng police officer sa CJS. Bukod sa pag-aaresto ng criminal or apprehension, ito ang pinaka-ambag niya to investigate crimes para magawan ng complaint and maipasa ito or ma-endorse ito sa second pillar which is the prosecution pillar. So, ang susunod na pillar natin would be the prosecution pillar. So, ano ang purpose ng prosecution pillar? Ang purpose ng prosecution pillar is to determine the legality of the action of the law enforcer. So, tama ba ang way of arresting offender? Tama ba ang way of process na ginawa ni law enforcer in investigating the crime? So, ang susunod na purpose is to evaluate evidences presented takes place. So, ini-evaluate niya ang ini-endorse ni police officer through criminal investigation. So, next is finding of probable cause to warrant prosecution known as preliminary investigation. Ano nga ba ang preliminary investigation? Ito ay required to be conducted before the filing of the information for an offense. So, ibig sabihin, ginagawa sa preliminary investigation if the penalty prescribed to the offense is at least 4 years, 2 months, and 1 day. Ito ang magpapatunay na si respondent or si accused ay guilty of the kind of crime being accused to him with the evidences presented by the parties. So, kaya ang preliminary investigation, magkakaroon na ng preliminary determination kung si accused ba ay guilty of the crime or innocent. Bago palang dalhin or i-endorse sa court So, ang susunod na pillar naman natin would be the court pillar. So, the court pillar is an organ of the government belonging to the judicial department whose function is the application of the laws to controversies brought before it and the public for administration of justice. So, ibig sabihin, si court is a part of government under the judicial branch of the government and ang kanyang main function is to apply laws para magkaroon at magkasundo sa mga controversies or conflicts between two parties. So, in order for the court to solve or resolve controversies, kailangan niyang i-apply ang batas. Court pillar is also the judicial determination of the guilt or innocence of the accused is under consideration. Dito na pumapasok iyong plea. Ito ay isang proseso na tinatanong ang isang akusado kung siya ba ay guilty or not guilty based sa paratang na binibintang sa kanya. Pagbabasihan ng korte sa pagdidesisyon ay tinatawag na proof beyond reasonable doubt o kasalanan na walang bahid na pagkaalinlangan. So, our fourth pillar would be the correction pillar. Dito sa correction pillar naman, kapag ang tao ay napatunayan na guilty ay dadalhin na siya sa correction together with his or her punishment. Sila ang nangangasiwa at nangangalaga sa rehabilitation ng mga tao o PDL or Person Deprived Liberty. Correction pillar is the branch of administration of criminal justice charged with the responsibility of the custody, supervision, and the rehabilitation of convicted offenders. So, there is the responsibility of correction to have the custody over the person, to supervise the offender, to rehabilitate or to give proper rehabilitation programs to the convicted offenders. Nagbibigay ng rehabilitation program magbago si convict at siya ay maging isang law-abiding citizen na para once na naserve niya ang kanyang sentence, siya ay i-reintegrate na sa community or society. So, also, the purpose of correction pillar is preventing a repetition of the unlawful activities without necessity of taking punitive action. When we say punitive action, ito ang mga penalties or punishments. Dito na pumapasok sa exemplarity. Ang purpose naman nito ay, for example, naaresto yung kapitbahay natin dahil gumawa siya ng kasalanan, nagnakaw, kumuha siya ng ari-arian ng iba, o nakapatay siya kaya siya nakulong. It will serve as an example to others and discourage us from committing crimes. So, last but not the least is our fifth pillar, which is the community pillar. Community as a pillar is very indispensable because in the absence of citizens' assistance, the CJS will not be able to handle effectively the complicated task of preventing and controlling crime. So, it's really important yung public or citizens' trust sa government because through citizens' assistance, the four pillars can handle effectively or carry out their duties successfully through assistance or aiding of the citizens of their community. So, thank you very much for listening and I do hope that you have learned from me.